Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, concept, structure, and working modality concept of ASEAN. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations is a regional organization which was established to promote political and social stability within rising tensions among the Asia-Pacific's post-colonial states. The motto of ASEAN is One Vision, One Identity, One Community. August 8 is observed as ASEAN Day. ASEAN Secretariat, Indonesia, Jakarta. Member of ASEAN, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia. Regular observers, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste. The most recent ASEAN meeting was observed also by China, South Korea, Japan, India, Russia, Australia, New Zealand. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, was established on August 8, 1967 when the foreign ministers of Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore and Thailand signed the ASEAN Declaration. The ASEAN Declaration announced the establishment of an association for regional cooperation among the countries of Southeast Asia, aiming to promote cooperation in the economic, social, cultural, technical, education and other fields such as regional peace and stability through abiding respect for justice and the rule of law and adherence to the principles of the United Nations Charter. Founding fathers of ASEAN are Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Objectives of ASEAN. Promoting regional peace and stability, ASEAN seeks to maintain peace and stability in Southeast Asia by fostering dialogue, cooperation, and confidence-building measures among its member states. Through mechanisms such as the ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF, and the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, TAC, ASEAN works to prevent conflicts and resolve disputes through peaceful means. Enhancing economic cooperation and integration. Economic integration is a central pillar of ASEAN's agenda. The organization aims to promote economic growth, development, and prosperity in the region by facilitating trade liberalization, investment promotion, and regional economic cooperation. Initiatives such as the ASEAN Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the ASEAN Economic Community, AEC, promote the free flow of goods, services, investment, and skilled labor within the region. Fostering social and cultural development, ASEAN is committed in promoting social progress, cultural development, and people-to-people exchanges among its member states. The organization supports initiatives to enhance education, healthcare, and cultural cooperation, with a focus on building a sense of ASEAN identity and solidarity among the peoples of Southeast Asia. Addressing regional challenges, ASEAN plays a key role in addressing transnational challenges and threats, including terrorism, natural disasters, pandemics, and environmental degradation. The organization promotes cooperation and coordination among member states to strengthen regional resilience and capacity building in areas such as disaster management, public health, and environmental sustainability. Engaging with external partners, ASEAN maintains close relations with external partners, including major powers, international organizations, and regional entities. Through mechanisms such as the ASEAN Plus 3, APT, and the East Asia Summit, EAS, ASEAN seeks to enhance cooperation and dialogue on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Fundamental principles of ASEAN: mutual respect for the independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, and national identity of all nations. The right of every state to lead its national existence free from external interference, subversion, or coercion. Non-interference in the internal affairs of one another. Settlement of differences or disputes by peaceful manner. Renunciation of the threat or use of force. Effective cooperation among themselves. Key roles and functions of the ASEAN Secretariat. Coordination. The Secretariat coordinates and facilitates the implementation of ASEAN agreements, initiatives, and activities across various sectors, including political, economic, social, and cultural cooperation. Support for meetings. It provides logistical support and organizational assistance for ASEAN meetings, including the ASEAN Summit, ministerial meetings, working groups, and specialized conferences. This includes arranging venues, coordinating schedules, and preparing documents. Information management. The Secretariat serves as a central repository of information on ASEAN-related matters, disseminating official documents, reports, and publications to member states, stakeholders, and the public. It also manages the ASEAN website and other communication channels to enhance transparency and public awareness of ASEAN activities. Policy advice. It provides policy advice and analysis to ASEAN member states on regional issues, trends, and developments, helping to inform decision-making and promote a consensus building among member states. Capacity building. The Secretariat supports capacity building efforts among ASEAN member states, providing technical assistance, training programs, and expertise in areas such as institutional development, governance, and regional integration. External relations, it serves as a focal point for ASEAN's external relations, maintaining diplomatic contacts with external partners, international organizations, and other regional entities. The Secretariat facilitates dialogue and cooperation with external stakeholders to promote ASEAN's interests and objectives. Promotion of ASEAN identity, the Secretariat works to promote ASEAN's identity and visibility among member states and the wider international community. This includes organizing events, campaigns, and initiatives to enhance public understanding and appreciation of ASEAN's goals and achievements. Financial management, it manages the financial resources of ASEAN, including the collection of contributions from member states and the administration of the ASEAN budget. The Secretariat ensures efficient and accountable use of resources in accordance with ASEAN's financial regulations and procedures. Priority areas of cooperation: promotion of trade and investment, maintaining financial market stability in the region, promotion of sustainable tourism and people-to-people connectivity. Enhanced cooperation in food, agriculture, and forestry, enhanced energy security and cooperation, enhanced cooperation in minerals. Promotion of sustainable development of micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, including through the consultations with ASEAN China Center, ASEAN Japan Center, and ASEAN Korea Center. Strengthened cooperation in science, technology, and innovation, STI, ASEAN cooperation, political cooperation, economic cooperation in trade. Economic cooperation in industry, economic cooperation in agriculture, ASEAN Free Trade Area, ASEAN Economic Community, prospects for ASEAN economic cooperation, political cooperation. During its early stages of development, ASEAN was mainly concerned with political cooperation to promote political stability and harmony in the region. Since 1976, however, the economic objective has grown in importance as economic development has become its main priority in view of, among other things, the increasing need to maintain economic competitiveness in the center of growing international competition and sustain member countries' pace of economic development in light of rising expectations. Economic cooperation. There have been two types of economic cooperation in ASEAN: market sharing and resource pooling. These types of economic cooperation have developed since the Bali Summit of 1976. At this summit, the ASEAN leaders signed a declaration of ASEAN Concord that laid out a program of action for regional cooperation in political, economic, social, cultural, and security matters. But ASEAN economic cooperation of a market-sharing type has generally been unsuccessful, mainly due to the significant differences in members' economic development levels and different economic priorities. Economic cooperation in trade. The most important form of market-sharing cooperation envisaged in the Bali Summit was the establishment of preferential trading arrangements to promote intra-ASEAN trade. The Agreement on ASEAN Preferential Trading Arrangement, signed in February 1977, was the first attempt by ASEAN member countries to promote a higher level of intra-ASEAN trade. 5 measures have been identified to achieve the objective of greater intra-ASEAN trade: exchange of tariff preferences, purchase of finance support at preferential rates for selected products of ASEAN domestic origin, long-term, 3 to 5 years, quantity contracts for basic commodities such as fuels and agricultural products, preference in procurement by government agencies, liberalization of non-tariff barriers on a preferential basis. Economic cooperation in agriculture. Given the importance of the agricultural sector in ASEAN, cooperation in this area has been one of the priority issues. All the cooperative undertakings in agriculture have so far been technical and developmental in nature, however. The Committee on Food, Agriculture, and Forestry, COFAF, is responsible for the identification and implementation of cooperative undertakings in the agricultural sector. Formed in March 1977, it, a. coordinates, reviews, and prepares studies on the prospects of the agricultural sector, b. develops efficient methods for the exchange of information on agriculture, c. identifies areas for cooperation, d. maintains close ties with related committees in ASEAN and with other related organizations inside and outside the region, and e. reports its progress to the ASEAN economic ministers. Between 1978 and 1988, COFAF had identified 46 cooperative projects: 7 in food, 10 in agriculture, 15 in forestry, 8 in livestock, and 6 in fisheries. By 1985, 13 of them were ongoing, 4 completed, and 29 not yet implemented. The largest number of projects was located in the Philippines, followed by Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia in descending order. Most of the funding for these projects came from sources outside the region, and only a few projects were pursued on a long-term basis. One of them was the ASEAN Food Security Project, which established in 1979 an ASEAN emergency rice reserve to be contributed to by each of the member countries. The objective was to create a stockpile of 50,000 metric tons of rice to meet shortfalls in domestic supply. Thermograms periodically reviewed for the purpose of creating a more dynamic food security arrangement to enhance intra-ASEAN trade and promote food production under the principle of comparative advantage. Others included the food handling and the seed technology projects. ASEAN cooperation in agriculture has also been fostered in the association's dealings with developed countries on matters of market access for member countries' primary exports, better terms of trade, stabilization of export earnings, and other no-sensitive areas of cooperation. ASEAN Free Trade Area. The 1992 ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, AFTA, was a turning point in the history of ASEAN economic cooperation, as it represents a significant step in the economic policy orientation of the ASEAN countries. The main objective of AFTA is to increase the international competitiveness of ASEAN industries and the ASEAN region as an investment location. Specifically, the objectives are to increase intra-ASEAN trade by abolishing intra-regional trade barriers while allowing member countries to keep their respective trade policies toward the rest of the world, attract local and foreign investors to invest in the region, and make their manufacturing sector more efficient and internationally competitive within a liberalizing global market. An integrated regional market is expected to produce economic benefits from greater consumer welfare, exploitation of economies of scale, competition-induced efficiency, industrial rationalization, inter-industry linkages, and inter-industry trade. To realize these benefits, AFTA seeks to reduce tariffs on all commodities traded within the member countries to no more than 5% ad valorem tax and remove all other trade restrictions by the year 2002 under the Common Effective Preferential Tariff, the main instrument of AFTA. The agreement also lays down the rules for fair competition and identifies a number of measures to enhance economic cooperation such as harmonization of standards, macroeconomic consultations, improved reciprocal recognition of product testing and certification, coordination of foreign investment policies to enhance more investment flows, joint investment promotion strategies, and cooperation in transportation systems. Further, it contains measures of contingent protection and allows the reintroduction of trade barriers in case of balance of payments difficulties. ASEAN Economic Community. The Asian financial crisis of 1997 and 1998, the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, the Iraq War, and the severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, outbreak all dampened the outlook for greater trade liberalization and economic integration as envisioned under AFTA. Despite these unfavorable external events, the ASEAN countries have remained politically committed to the vision of transforming ASEAN into an economically integrated grouping within the framework of an ASEAN Economic Community, AEC. This AEC concept, which was first agreed on at the November 2002 ASEAN Summit held in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, is based on the ASEAN Vision 2020, which foresees a more economically integrated ASEAN. The ASEAN Vision 2020 envisioned a stable, prosperous, and highly competitive ASEAN economic region in which there is a free flow of goods, services and investments, a freer flow of capital, equitable economic development and reduced poverty and socio-economic disparities, ASEAN Vision 2020. The AEC is built on the current initiatives under the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, the ASEAN Framework Agreement on Services, and the ASEAN Investment Area, with clear timelines specified for removal of non-tariff barriers, harmonization of product standards and technical regulations, and conclusion of mutual recognition arrangements for priority sectors. Economic cooperation in industry. ASEAN countries have resolved that industrialization and economic development of their members can be largely facilitated through industrial cooperation. There is also a common realization that a significant increase in intra-ASEAN trade can occur only if the supply side of the market is also increased. Thus, since 1976, 5 major schemes of ASEAN industrial cooperation: ASEAN Industrial Projects Scheme, ASEAN Industrial Complementation Scheme, Brand-to-Brand Complementation Scheme, ASEAN Industrial Joint Venture Scheme, and ASEAN Industrial Cooperation Scheme, have been established to create new industrial capacity jointly owned by member countries serving the regional market. Unlike trade liberalization, which raises apprehensions of uncontrolled trade flows and market disruption, industrial cooperation is linked to the creation of specific new production facilities, giving rise to much more predictable trade flows. Except for the ASEAN Industrial Cooperation Scheme, the success of these initiatives was quite limited. Institutional mechanism of ASEAN. Chairmanship of ASEAN rotates annually, based on the alphabetical order of the English names of member states. ASEAN Summit, the supreme policy-making body of ASEAN. As the highest level of authority in ASEAN, the summit sets the direction for ASEAN policies and objectives. Under the Charter, the summit meets twice a year. ASEAN Ministerial Councils. The Charter established 4 important new ministerial bodies to support the summit: ASEAN Coordinating Council, ACC, ASEAN Political Security Community Council, ASEAN Economic Community Council. ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community Council. Decision-making. The primary mode of decision-making in ASEAN is consultation and consensus. However, the Charter enshrines the principle of ASEAN X. This means that if all member states agree, a formula for flexible participation may be used so that the members who are ready may go ahead while members who need more time for implementation may apply a flexible timeline. Forums are led by ASEAN. ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF. Launched in 1993. The 27-member multilateral grouping was developed to facilitate cooperation on political and security issues to contribute to regional confidence building and preventive diplomacy. ASEAN Plus 3, the consultative group initiated in 1997, brings together ASEAN's 10 members, China, Japan, and South Korea. East Asia Summit, EAS. First held in 2005, the summit seeks to promote security and prosperity in the region and is usually attended by the heads of state from ASEAN, Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, Russia, South Korea, and the United States. ASEAN plays a central role as the agenda setter. ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting, ADMM, Plus meeting. The ADMM Plus is a platform for ASEAN and its 8 dialogue partners to strengthen security and defense cooperation for peace, stability, and development in the region. The ADMM Plus countries include 10 ASEAN member states and 8 plus countries, namely Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, ROC, Russian Federation, and the United States. The first ADMM Plus was convened at Hanoi, Vietnam in 2010. The Common Effective Preferential Tariff, CEPT, scheme. Each ASEAN member may impose tariffs on goods entering from outside ASEAN based on its national schedules. However, for goods originating within ASEAN, ASEAN members are to apply a tariff rate of 0 to 5%. The more recent members of Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, also known as CMLV countries, were given additional time to implement the reduced tariff rates. This is known as the Common Effective Preferential Tariff, CEPT, scheme. ASEAN members have the option of excluding products from the CEPT in 3 cases: 1. Temporary exclusions. 2. Sensitive agricultural products. 3. General exceptions. Temporary exclusions refer to products for which tariffs will ultimately be lowered to 0 to 5%, but which are being protected temporarily by a delay in tariff reductions. For sensitive agricultural products include commodities such as rice. ASEAN members have until 2010 to reduce the tariff levels to 0 to 5%. General exceptions refer to products which an ASEAN member deems necessary for the protection of national security, public morals, the protection of human, animal or plant life and health, and protection of articles of artistic, historic, or archaeological value. ASEAN members have agreed to enact 0 tariff rates on virtually all imports by 2010 for the original signatories, and 2015 for the CMLV countries. Dispute resolution. Although these ASEAN national customs and trade authorities coordinate among themselves, disputes can arise. The ASEAN Secretariat has no legal authority to resolve such disputes, so disputes are resolved bilaterally through informal means or through dispute resolution. An ASEAN Protocol on Enhanced Dispute Settlement Mechanism governs formal dispute resolution in AFTA and other aspects of ASEAN. ASEAN members may seek mediation and good offices consultations. If these efforts are ineffective, they may ask SEOM, Senior Economic Officials meetings, to establish panel of independent arbitrators to review the dispute. Panel decisions can be appealed to an appellate body formed by the ASEAN Economic Community Council. But this process has not solved all problems. Further trade facilitation efforts. Efforts to close the development gap and expand trade among members of ASEAN are key points of policy discussion. According to a 2008 research brief published by the World Bank as part of its Trade Costs and Facilitation Project, ASEAN members have the potential to reap significant benefits from investments in further trade facilitation reform, due to the comprehensive tariff reform already realized through the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement. This new analysis suggests examining 2 key areas, among others, port facilities and competitiveness in the Internet services sector. Reform in these areas, the report states, could expand ASEAN trade by up to 7.5%, $22 billion, and 5.7%, $17 billion, respectively. By contrast, cutting applied tariffs in all ASEAN members to the regional average in Southeast Asia would increase intra-regional trade by about 2%, $6.3 billion. Key achievements of ASEAN. Economic growth and integration. ASEAN has significantly contributed to economic growth and integration across the region. The formation of the ASEAN Economic Community, AEC, in 2015 created a unified market, allowing for unified trade, investment, and labor mobility among member states. This integration has strengthened ASEAN's position as a global economic hub. Political and security cooperation. To enhance regional stability, ASEAN established the ASEAN Political Security Community, APSC, and the ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF. These initiatives promote diplomatic dialogue, conflict resolution, and security partnerships, ensuring peace and cooperation among member nations and external partners. Financial and banking integration. ASEAN has taken major steps toward financial integration through the ASEAN Banking Integration Framework, ABIF, and the Financial Integration Roadmap. These frameworks facilitate cross-border banking, harmonize financial regulations, and improve capital markets, strengthening the region's financial stability. Energy and infrastructure development. The region has made progress in energy security through the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation, APEC. Projects like the ASEAN Power Grid and Trans-ASEAN Gas Pipeline improve energy access, promote renewable energy, and support regional energy sustainability. Food security and sustainability. ASEAN has prioritized food security through the ASEAN Integrated Food Security, AIFS, framework, ensuring stable food supplies, agricultural sustainability, and regional cooperation to address food crises and climate-related challenges. Cultural and socio-economic development. The ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, ASCC, focuses on improving healthcare, education, disaster resilience, and environmental sustainability. These initiatives strengthen ASEAN's commitment to social welfare and regional cooperation. Global influence and trade agreements. ASEAN has expanded its global influence by spearheading major trade agreements like the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, the world's largest trade deal. Additionally, ASEAN maintains strong economic and diplomatic ties with major global powers, reinforcing its role in international trade and diplomacy. ASEAN and international relations. Strong global partnerships. ASEAN maintains diplomatic and economic ties with global powers like the United States, China, Japan, India, the EU, and Australia through strategic dialogues and summits. Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. ASEAN played a key role in forming RCEP, the world's largest free trade agreement, strengthening trade with partner nations including China, South Korea, and New Zealand. ASEAN Plus 3, APT, cooperation, collaborates with China, Japan, and South Korea to enhance economic growth, security, and cultural exchange. ASEAN-led security frameworks, initiatives like the ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF, and East Asia Summit, EAS, focus on security, counterterrorism, and conflict resolution. Free trade agreements, FTAs. ASEAN has FTAs with major economies like China, India, Australia, and Japan, boosting economic integration. Humanitarian and climate efforts, works with global organizations to address climate change, disaster relief, and humanitarian aid in the region. ASEAN Free Trade Area and its significance. Definition. The ASEAN Free Trade Area, AFTA, is an agreement aimed at promoting economic integration and trade liberalization among the member states of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. Objective. AFTA was established in 1992 with the primary objective of creating a single market and production base within ASEAN. It seeks to facilitate the free flow of goods, services, investment, and skilled labor among member states, thereby promoting economic growth, development, and prosperity in the region. Tariff reduction. A key feature of AFTA is the progressive reduction and elimination of tariffs on goods traded among ASEAN member states. Under the agreement, member countries commit to reducing tariffs on a wide range of products over specified periods, with the ultimate goal of achieving tariff-free trade in the region. Timetable. AFTA's tariff reduction schedule is implemented in phases, with member states negotiating and agreeing upon specific timelines and tariff reduction rates for different product categories. The gradual reduction of tariffs allows industries and economies to adjust to increased competition and market access within the region. Product coverage. AFTA covers a broad spectrum of goods traded among ASEAN member states, including agricultural products, industrial goods, and manufactured goods. Tariff reduction commitments are typically made on a sector-by-sector basis, taking into account the economic interests and sensitivities of member countries. Rules of origin. AFTA includes rules of origin criteria to determine the eligibility of goods for preferential tariff treatment within the region. These rules establish the criteria and procedures for determining the ASEAN origin of goods, ensuring that only products originating from ASEAN member states benefit from preferential tariffs. Safeguard measures. AFTA includes provisions for safeguard measures to address situations where increased imports from other ASEAN member states cause serious injury or threat of serious injury to domestic industries. Safeguard measures may be temporarily imposed to provide relief to affected industries while maintaining the overall objectives of AFTA. Benefits. AFTA offers several benefits to ASEAN member states, including expanded market access, increased trade and investment flows, enhanced regional competitiveness, and greater economic integration. By reducing trade barriers and promoting intra-regional trade, AFTA contributes to the economic development and integration of ASEAN economies. Challenges. Despite its benefits, AFTA also faces challenges such as implementation issues, non-tariff barriers, and disparities in economic development among ASEAN member states. Addressing these challenges requires continued cooperation, dialogue, and commitment among member countries to fully realize the potential of AFTA and achieve the goals of economic integration in Southeast Asia. Global influence and reception of ASEAN. Regional stability and conflict resolution. ASEAN is widely recognized for its efforts in maintaining peace and stability in Southeast Asia. The organization has played a key role in facilitating dialogue and conflict resolution among its member states, particularly in addressing territorial disputes and historical animosities. ASEAN's approach of non-interference and consensus building has been commended as a model for conflict resolution in other regions. Economic integration and trade. ASEAN's initiatives to promote economic integration, such as the ASEAN Free Trade Area, AFTA, and the ASEAN Economic Community, AEC, have attracted global attention. The organization's focus on trade liberalization, investment promotion, and regional economic cooperation has made ASEAN an attractive destination for foreign investment and trade partners. ASEAN's economic success has positioned it as a key player in shaping the global economy. Dialogue and cooperation with external partners. ASEAN maintains close relations with major powers, international organizations, and other regional entities through mechanisms such as the ASEAN +3, APT, and the East Asia Summit, EAS. The organization's engagement with external partners has facilitated dialogue, cooperation, and confidence building on regional and global issues of mutual interest, including security, trade, and environmental sustainability. Soft power and diplomacy. ASEAN's emphasis on people-centered development and cultural exchange has contributed to its soft power and diplomatic influence on the global stage. The organization's promotion of ASEAN identity and values has enhanced its visibility and reputation internationally, fostering greater understanding and cooperation with countries beyond the region. Challenges and criticisms. Despite its achievements, ASEAN also faces criticism and challenges from the international community. Some observers argue that ASEAN's policy of non-interference and consensus building hampers its effectiveness in addressing pressing issues such as human rights violations and democratic backsliding in some member countries. Additionally, ASEAN's response to regional crises and conflicts has been perceived as slow and ineffective by some critics.